ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापतये नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we are discussing from chapter 2, verse number 2. Wait. Chapter 7. Yes. So we discussed this verse yesterday. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano anuvidhiyate tadasya hariti pragyam vayurnava ivam bhasi. So even if in one of the roaming senses, if mind focuses, Lord Krishna says, as a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. So this we discussed. Therefore, tasmat means therefore, Lord Krishna is giving instruction what one should do if one at all desires to make a spiritual advancement. Tasmadhyasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyastasya pragya pratisthita. Therefore, mighty one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Tasmad yasya mahabaho. Therefore, O mighty one, Nigrahitani, Nigrahitani, one who has curbed down, Sarvashaha Indriyani. Indriyani means all the senses, and Sarvashaha means from all the sides, from all sides. Wow. So, what does this mean? Sarvashaha Indriyani, from all the sides, means that not only one should control one's senses from those sense objects which may agitate the mind, but also one should control uh, one's senses from those sense objects where there is no possibility of apparently it may appear or it may look like that there is no possibility of one's getting agitated or getting attached towards. But those sense objects also must be the senses must be nigrihitani, means curbed down from those sense objects also all around. So, sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyas indriyarthebhyas from sense objects. So tasya pragya pratisthita. Such a person is firmly or properly situated in steady intelligence. Such a person is considered to be firmly or properly situated um, with a steady intelligence. So one can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness or engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As enemies are curbed by superior force, the senses can similarly be curbed not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of one of our spiritual master is called a sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation. We must note it down, the definition of a sadhaka, or in other words, we can say eligible candidate for getting initiated in spiritual life. दीक्षा का क्या योग्यता है? Initiation का eligibility. Um, so one can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness, or engaging all the senses in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So one who has understood this, now, anybody, a person, a devotee, a devotee who has understood this, what? That only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of one of his spiritual master is called a sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation. That only by engaging our senses in Krishna's transcendental service, or only by becoming pure devotee, or only by becoming fully Krishna conscious, one can really establish himself properly on the path of liberation. Uh, then one is really established in intelligence, and that uh, in order to become fully Krishna conscious, or in order to engage senses completely in the service of the Lord, uh, one must practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, not independently. Then he is called a sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation. Means such a person, such a devotee is qualified to become liberated in the coming near future, and he is to be called a sadhaka, means who has got the qualification to practice sadhana. It's not that everyone who is chanting Hare Krishna can be called as a sadhaka. No. The definition of sadhaka is very clearly written here, that one must have full faith or full conviction, or full understanding, that if I want to establish my intelligence, pragya pratisthita, pratisthit pragya, establish intelligence if I at all desire in order to make advancement in life, then the only way is Krishna consciousness. Uh, this is the only way. And that one should. And second thing, the only way is Krishna consciousness, but this Krishna consciousness way can be achieved by practicing this art under the guidance of a one of his spiritual master. Then he is called a sadhaka, suitable candidate for liberation. Just like one who wants to become a qualified, certified doctor. So one thing you must understand, that he has to uh, uh, read or study medical books properly. Then only he can become a qualified doctor. And also, one must know that he should practice medical science under the guidance of a bona fide certified doctor. Then he is called a medical student, means a suitable candidate for becoming a doctor. This is material example, but it applies. So in the spiritual life also, this applies. If one desires to get liberation from this material existence, so there is no other alternative, no other method apart from becoming fully pure Krishna conscious person. That means all other processes may help a person to go towards liberation, but all other processes than this bhakti or Krishna consciousness are not sufficient in itself to avoid liberation. By karma, by jnana or by yoga. By karma, jnana, yoga, one may get, one may come to the platform of goodness. One may come to the platform of understanding the importance of spiritual life. One may come to the platform of having sukriti, piety. But all these things may be helpful on the path which leads towards liberation. But uh, the perfect stage of liberation is only possible when one actually becomes Krishna conscious. This is explained in Bhagavatam also. Uh, Mahat Sevam Ahur Vimukte. Mahat Sevam, service to a Mahat, a pure devotee, is called liberation. Tamo Dwaram Sangi Sanginam Yoshitam Sangi. Tamo Dwara means bondage means associating with non-devotees or who are sensuous, who are too addicted for sense gratification. That is the way to hell. But and that's why in one of the Puranas, this verse Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. It emphasizes three times. Only by the holy chanting of the holy name of Krishna. That means by becoming Krishna conscious. Only by chanting the holy name of Krishna. Only by chanting the holy name of Krishna. This is the only process. And then Nasti, Nasti, Nasti. Three times it is said Nasti, Nasti. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way means the karma, jnana, and yoga will not work, cannot avoid a person a perfect stage of liberation. So one who properly and fully understands this concept or principle or philosophy that only by devotional service of Krishna consciousness one can truly become liberated or one can truly or fully control one's mind and senses. So this makes a 50% qualification for becoming a sadhaka. And the next 50% that, okay, one may be convinced, okay, bhakti is the process, only Krishna consciousness is the process by which I can attain perfect liberation. Uh, but second aspect is independently or by my human effort, I cannot become fully Krishna conscious. For this, I need to practice this art of becoming Krishna conscious. So one has to practice this art. It's not that automatically it will happen. Even in the association of devotees, one has to use intelligence, one has to follow the instructions, and then one has to practice this art. So one has to practice this art, but under the guidance. So under the guidance means by hearing from a bona fide spiritual master. Then it makes 100% qualification to become a sadhaka. And sadhaka means a suitable candidate for liberation. So this is the sum and substance of this particular verse which we discussed today. तस्मादेस्य महाबाहो विगृहीतानि सर्वशः इंद्रियाणि इंद्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Such a person is considered to be well established in intelligence, who is able to control all of his senses from all sides. It's not that 99% controlled, 1% uncontrolled. No. Perfect established intelligence means from all the senses from all sides is controlled. And that is possible only when all the senses from all sides are engaged in the service of Krishna. And this all around engagement of all the senses in the service of Krishna is possible only and only when one practices this Krishna consciousness process under the able guidance of our spiritual master. Okay, so we stop with this. This was ends here. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna.